This is a supplemental video for the GeoGebra Chapter 4 project. I want to go through some of the instructions and provide some demonstration. You'll see the notes in Schoology here show that there are some considerable instructions that go along with the actual instruction that you will see here. So when you take a look at this here, when you click on that, what you'll see is what's on the right. The instructions are a little bit outdated in a few places, and unfortunately I'm unable to edit them, so I'm going to give you the edits. And I think you can read through this. I recommend that you print it and just go ahead and write on your instructions. Item number 1.1, it says, or 1.2, in the small pop-up window labeled Perspective, use your mouse to select geometry. I have never seen that window, so if you see that window, select geometry, but it may not be necessary. You don't need to worry if you don't see it. Item number 3 asks you to choose options labeling all new objects. Well, let's take a look here. When I do this, oops, let's just move this over and we'll just walk through these. You're going to see under options, labeling, you could do automatic or you could do all new objects. Either one of those should be fine. Item number 1.6, I'm going to show you that. The text button, I'll show you that. We'll walk straight through all this about how to label your questions. I'll do all of that. My point F ended up hidden the first time I did it. We'll take a look at that. And then I will walk you through how I want you to submit as a single PDF document. So we'll take a look at that. Okay. Our instructions tell us to open a new sketch, which we did. Now, I'm kind of nitpicky about this. You may or may not like this, but I like to have the origin kind of in the middle. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the circle with center through point. I'm actually going to make my first one right at the origin just for fun. Now, I'd like you to make your drawings big enough to see. Okay, last time I had people who made drawings about this big. Not good. Okay, so make them big enough to see. They don't have to fill the whole thing, but make them big enough. You'll notice that you got a point B there. It's going to ask you to put a point C also on the circle, so you know where the point selector is. Point, boom, I have points A, B, and C. And then you're going to be called on to connect those using line segments. So starting from the center, A to B. When you look up there, you're going to see point F there, or not point F, but item F on the algebra side tells you how long that is. And when you go point AC, how long do you think that's going to be? Well, they're both radii, so it should be the same, and indeed it is. You're going to get rid of this circle, and the way we're going to do that is just by clicking on it, boom, and it goes away. And then you're going to connect these segments, giving you a triangle. All right, so let's see, where am I in the instructions? We did all of that. Those are both the same length. All right, now it talks in the instructions about how you will, right here, says the letters A, B, and C in the algebra column represent the lengths. Well, you can see in my case, they are actually F, G, and H. F, G, and H. So don't worry if yours are F, G, and H. Not a problem. Once you get that, let's see, we got rid of the circle. We're going to use the text button and choose text to put answers to the questions below your drawing. So here's what I want you to do. Remember, you might have to look at this little A slider thing to get to the text. No matter where I click, it's going to pop up in the middle. But if you need to, you can move that box around. Okay? Right now we don't need to. And here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to put question 1 and then put your answer. So you can see over here on the right, the first question that's asked is, what are the lengths of AB, AC, BC? Well, if you look at these, AB is item F, AC is item G, and then BC is item H. So that's very easy to do. It's going to be 2.49, comma, space, 2.49, comma, space, 4.25. There are no units on this. So you see how easy that was? The next thing you're asked to do is to create a new isosceles triangle DEF using the same method. So remember, we started circle with a point. So I'm just going to do this one down below. Oof, that's going to be a little bit big, but we can do it. Actually, we can go ahead and do that. Because remember, if you want to, you can drag this around. All right, our method was to do that and then to put another point on it. So I'm going to put this point down here, and then we connected with line segments DE, DF, right? And then we actually, I'm going to do this now. We're going to connect those and then get rid of the circle this time. All right, I have another triangle. So I created DEF, and it asks you, the next question, I believe, is what are the lengths of DE, DF, EF? So in your question, it should look very much the same. Question 2, that's going to be 3.98, comma space, 3.98, comma space, 6.75. Boom, easy to do. Now it asks us to do a third triangle. This is going to be GH, GI, and HI. Now you're probably thinking, well, this is redundant. Yep, it is. The whole point is to get you, well, let's see if I can move that. Is it going to let me move that? Oof, only that way. Well, I tell you what, we'll make it a little smaller here. All right, I've got GH. We need a third point, just like we did last time. All right, so I'm going to put this one right here. We're going to connect those with segments. GI, GH, those should be the same length, and then those, and then I'm going to go hide that circle, and there's my third one. All right, now interestingly enough, it looks like I accidentally made a equilateral triangle. I did not mean to do that. So for the sake of understanding, let's pretend like I did it this way. Okay, let's just go there. All right, the next thing after we do that is, I believe it's going to ask you, what are the lengths of GH, GI, and HI? So this should be just like you just did last time. Question 3. This should be making a point to you. And that point is that isosceles triangles have 2 or more equal sides. Okay, now it says drag point H to a new position. So let's make sure we're on the select tool. Let's drag point H. Maybe I wasn't on the select tool. Okay, point H to a new position. All right, when I do that, it says, what are the new lengths of GH, GI, and HI? Now in my case, GH, M, L, M, and N, 3.57. In my case, it ends up still being isosceles. I'm not sure it was supposed to. All right? So if yours does not, don't panic, because I think that that was just a function of GeoGebra and what it did. Now, let's go all the way back up to the top of this text box, and let's put our name in there. Okay, let's put our name in there so that it's in there. And that is the last question that we're going to answer. So now I can click OK, and that text box is in a lousy place, so I'm just going to grab it and move it somewhere sensible. You guys see that? Just put it somewhere sensible. And that is our first drawing. So what I'm going to do now is take a screen capture of that. And I'm going to put that in my Word doc. Now, if you look in your instructions, it tells you to name the first one isos try. So look, I've put my name, I've named it isos try, and I've pasted it into that Word doc. If you have Pages, you can paste it into Pages. If you have Google Docs, you can paste it into Google Docs. It'll work on any of them. Now I'm going to go to my next one, which is the other try, and we're going to follow the instructions. Okay, down here, once we got done, you know, we named that. Actually, let me go back. I'll save this just so I don't lose it. File, save as, and it wants us to save it as isos try. All right, isos underscore try. And I'm not going to save mine there. I'm actually going to save mine here. Okay, but you save yours wherever you need to save it. Okay, now it says open a new sketch in GeoGebra following steps 1 through 3 above. Okay, so we know what those are. So I'm going to go to, whoops, I'm in the wrong program. New. Yep, we're going to save our changes, which we already did. And now I've got a new GeoGebra project ready to go, and I can follow the instructions. The first thing we're going to do is open the polygon tool, okay, and select regular polygon. Now you remember what makes a regular polygon regular is all the sides are the same. It's going to have us click on 2 points, and it's going to open this dialog box that asks, how many vertices do you want? Well, in our case, we just want 3 because all we're doing is working with triangles, and bam, look at that. Isn't that very cool? So we've got points A, B, and it opened up point C for us, and guess what? We have a question. Classifying by the lengths of its sides, what type of triangle is ABC? Now, I'm not actually going to answer this one for you. I'm going to show you what I want you to do. You're going to open a text box again. We should be up to question 5, right? Question 5. Whoops, all caps. Question 5. And you're going to put what kind of triangle it is. It's an XXX triangle. Okay, classifying by the length of its sides. Okay. Now, once I've done that, we're going to choose the angle tool and select angle. So over here, here is the angle tool. We select angle, and it wants us to click on AB and AC to find the measure of A. So when I click on AB, AC, look at that. I get the measure of A, and it's 60 degrees. Now there's a note in there. Sometimes it shows it as the exterior angle, which would be 300, and you just have to, it says here, you just subtract from 360 to get what is inside if that happens. All right, now we're up to another question. What is the measure of each angle of the triangle? Well, you should be able to figure that out, right? What is the measure of each angle of the triangle? That is our question 6. Question 6. And you're going to put some number of degrees. All right? Once you've done that, it says classifying by the measure. Let's see, did I just miss something here? That's by the measure of the angles. No, by the length of the sides. We just did. Classifying by the length of the sides. That is question number 5. Okay, very good. Now, it's going to have us click on A, B, and AC to find the measure of A, which we already did. Now we get to question number 6. Question number 6, which I think I already did here. What's the measure of each angle? Yep, we already did that. Sorry to be slow on that. All right, on the same sketch, use the segment tool and draw segment DE, and then we're going to do something with perpendicular lines. So here we go. Here's the segment tool, and you know what? I'm going to demonstrate something. So there's DE. Now it tells us to go to the perpendicular line tool and click anywhere on here. And then it says to drag that line left to point D, but you can see in my drawing, because I did it the way I did it, it would actually be going right to point D. I just wanted to demonstrate that. I don't care which way you have to go, just go to point D. And then click again on D and it will stop moving. Okay, we did that. Now we're going to draw point F anywhere on the perpendicular line. So I'm going to go to point, go to a point, anywhere on the perpendicular line, there is point F. Now I'm going to use the polygon button to create a triangle DEF. So this time it's not a regular polygon, it's just a polygon. So I'm going to click on D, click on E, click on F, and then back to D. And I now have a polygon of a particular type. We're going to hide that perpendicular line, which you can see up here is named J, by clicking on the J. Boom, it goes away. Pretty good. Now I'm up to question number 7. Okay, question number 7. I just want to make sure I got that right. And question number 7 asks, classifying by the measures of angles, what type of triangle is DEF? So you're going to say question 7, and you're going to give a name, which is classified by the measure of the angles. Then it says classifying by the length of the sides, what type of triangle. So there's actually a second answer here. We'll put it as Y's. There are actually 2 answers there in question 7, so watch out for that. All right, now you're going to save this, but first let's put the text box in here. Okay, let's put it somewhere that makes sense. We're going to take a screenshot of it, and we're going to paste that into our Word doc up here where I said other try. Okay, so look at this. Boom, boom. We've got that. And then we're going to save it because we don't want to lose it because you might need it later. Hint, hint. All right, so we're going to save as, in this case it is other underscore try. You save that wherever you need to save it. And then we're up to this last part here that says answer these questions in a separate Word doc. Well, we already have a Word doc, so we're going to keep them in the same Word doc. All right? And that will look like, whoop, not like that. It will look like this. You go to your page 3, and here are the final questions. That's these right here, A, B, C, D, E. So you're going to put an A and a colon and then whatever your answer is. A B and a colon and whatever your answer is. The rest of it's all good. Then you're going to need to save this document as a PDF. All right? So when you go to Save As, maybe I should show that. We'll go to File, Save As. I want you to notice down here it says Word Doc, but it gives you all these options. When you click on this, you can save it as a PDF, which I am very thankful if you would do. And here's what I would like you to do. You don't have to. I'm not going to take off points, but this would be so helpful. If you did GeoGebra chapter, well, let's just go chapter 4 and then put your name like that. That would be great. Okay, that would be really great. Make sure you save it as a PDF. Save it as a PDF. And there you have it. Wherever it is you saved it, you can now upload it. I hope that this was helpful on a number of fronts. One is to help you understand how to use GeoGebra. The other is to help you understand how to communicate effectively so that you present work that can actually be evaluated so that you can get all the points that you deserve. Hope you guys have a great day, and I guess that's it. Bye-bye.